Gymnastics is the foundation of movement for life. Check gymqld.org.au.
Welcome to Stick It.
Oh, g'day, wherever you're listening on air, online or on your phone. Welcome to Stick It. Coming up, the CEO of Gymnastics Queensland, one of the most contentious issues to come out of that 100-day Olympic review. Well, what was left out? That was the most contentious part. Gymnastics. Chris Rushton to step you through all the things ahead of 2032. Where, what and where are they at? That is what Stick It is all about. A brand new show flipping the script on one of Queensland's most popular sports. And to do that, myself, Ben Davis, joined by Australia's only Olympic medalist in gymnastics. I speak of none other than Ji, the trampoline guy. Ji, very good morning to you. There has been an overwhelming response to episode 1. How good is it?
It's pretty crazy, and it's so fun to be a part of something that's so unique, especially in Australia and around the world. Not many people get out there and just talk about gymnastics on podcasts. But because we're heavily into state championships at the moment, I see so many people in the community, and it's overwhelmingly positive that we're actually out there talking about gymnastics, because our 56,000 members, our 123 clubs, they all love gymnastics the way we love gymnastics, and it's really good to get out there into different demographics, because not everybody knows how cool gymnastics is.
All right, can't get enough of it. If you've come across this by accident, that's okay. We've got stuff here for you. If you've landed here on purpose, well, you know exactly what it's about. We've got questions from listeners coming up, which is great. You head to Gymnastics Queensland, or it's GymQLD on Insta, and you can leave your questions there, and we will address them as the weeks and the months go on. We've got story time with Ji, as promised.
Got a cracker today.
Well, I know we were touching on Roy and HG, but we'll get into what venues and souvenirs that you pick up along the way.
Snaffled?
Snaffled.
Yes.
There's a word for it. Snaffled from inside the Olympic venue, which ties into our chat with the CEO, Olympic venues.
Yes.
Very hot topic when it comes to, well, all sports, but especially gymnastics here in Queensland. Ji, you mentioned it, coming off the state titles. It's one of the biggest weeks on the calendar out at Chandler. Another huge turn-up.
Yes, It's a 5-day event. There's over 650 athletes, and they compete multiple times. So the judges do the hard work, the coaches do the hard work. The athletes are there for a minimum amount of time. We're there for 5 days. The administration stuff, it's a huge undertaking. And not only do we do it for state championships for MAG and WAG, we also do it for all the gym sports. So what we do at Gymnastics Queensland for the community is pretty heavy.
And I love the fact that there were thousands of spectators as well, because for every athlete, there is a support group behind them, family, friends coming to watch.
What I love about going to a gymnastic event is the atmosphere. It's almost like going to the footy, because the crowd is passionate, because they love gymnastics and they're cheering on the athletes on the floor. And it's not just one athlete going each time. There's multiple apparatus going all at the same time. So you never really quite know where you can look. So you're going to miss something, so you've got to come back the next day.
On that, if you're an athlete competing and all of a sudden the big cheer goes up and you go, hang on, I haven't really done, that was for someone over there. Is that off-putting? Is that good? Can it lift you?
Not at all. You are so zeroed in and so focused. And remember, gymnastics, the girls do the floor routine to music. So there's always noise going on. So that's really not a problem. You train for that.
Sensational. Speaking of athletes that were there, Ruby Pass, we saw her competing, obviously coming off the back of Paris, and she was recognised for her Olympic involvement.
She was. She got International Gymnast of the Year, Senior International Excellence, which is going to the Olympics. Yeah. The Bobby Campbell it's a prestigious memento, an award there that goes around every year. Plus also her coaches. The coaching team received the International Coaching Team of the Year, and that's Misha and Xiaomen. So without the coaches, the athletes can't do what they do. So it's really good to recognise those coaches.
Recognition, but also performance. And we have seen the most interstate competitors coming to Queensland. They must think it's bloody good competition to do that. Jesse Moore was up, and I know he had a rock star reception as well, but it shows the calibre of competition on show here in Queensland.
It shows the calibre of the organising committee, because without the team at Gymnastics Queensland, it just doesn't get done. Like I said last time, you don't just sit around and wait for the events to happen. They are years in planning, years long, just to find venues. We have to fight for venues. So making sure that we succeed in our competition all the way through the year. The work has to be done. But of course, putting on the show, everybody wants to come to Queensland. Why wouldn't you want to come to Queensland?
Well, exactly.
It's the best gymnastic competition in the country.
And I know it's an indoor event, but the weather's pretty bloody good at this time of year too. Let's face it.
We are very lucky that we are an indoor event, because I can't imagine tumbling and twirling and throwing ribbons and doing hands in the wet. Couldn't imagine that.
Hang on, but you did. Growing up, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Is outdoors because it was
back in the 80s. There wasn't a whole lot around for trampoline, and at Robertson State School, that's where the trampoline program started. Literally on the oval, we used to pull out a double mini, pull out a trampoline onto the oval. In the rain, in the hail, in the sunshine, didn't matter. And that's actually where one of our rhythmic teams actually train out of. They're at Robertson State School. So they've been producing stars for a long time there.
Outstanding. We'll get into that a little later on, and story time with Ji. It's just a taste of what's coming up on Stick It. Just with the competitors coming here to Queensland, from interstate as well, to get that calibre of competition. I mean, normally, and athletes do have to go overseas to get that really high benchmark. But
in our sport, yes, they do have to go overseas. So the fact that interstate athletes really value what Queensland put on, that's just a testament to what we're doing here.
Yeah, outstanding stuff. Jesse Moore got that rock star reception too, as I said. I mean, I've seen the video. So
it's pretty cool, huh?
Lining up to kids were getting autographs on their shoes.
Yeah, you don't really think about gymnasts getting that sort of rock star, but let me tell you, they do here in Queensland and overseas. Some of the rhythmic girls, which we'll talk about later, the rhythmic girls, they're superstars in their countries.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at Jesse, best performed male gymnast at Paris at the Olympics, I mean, he deserves that rock star reception. Hey, Nat, tell me about the Fiji Frenzy, the regional gym fest, which is coming up in Mackay later.
So Fiji is really the new sort of thing in gymnastics. It's a little bit using the urban environment, but we take it indoors, but using the urban environment to do all your tricks and all your fun stuff and to be able to show off to everybody. It's pretty cool to be able to do those sort of things. So that tour has been going around the state for a little while, and it's turning up next time.
All right, June 7, that's in Mackay. But next, we are going to talk about the Brisbane legacy and venues around the Olympics. It is a hot button topic when it comes to this sport after the 100-day review. We've got the CEO, Chris Rushton.
It's coming up.
I mean, LA's our next Olympics, and then it's Brisbane. Then it's our turn.
Just over 3 years away. Can you believe that already?
For LA, yeah. Exactly. So the question out of that is, where is it going to be hosted in 32? But more importantly, I think, is the legacy left, and what facilities are going to be on offer to create the next Ji Wallace after 32 and beyond. Because when it came to the state government's 100-day review on Olympic venues, your sport didn't get a mention.
Mate, we were holding our breath. And I know we've done a whole lot of work to present the best case forward to the state government, and they're very well aware that gymnastics is there. It's the number one watch sport around the world, every Olympic Games. So they can't really say that they forgot about it, because surely they can't have done that. And there's been two different governments now saying very similar stories. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they actually come up with.
Well, 58,000 members, 123 clubs left in limbo after that, I guess, non-announcement. So where is it all at? And that's why we have gone straight to the top. The CEO of Gymnastics Queensland, Chris Rushton. Chris, you've been pretty busy since March 25, haven't you? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks, guys, for having me on.
Good morning.
How good's the show? This is great.
Yeah.
Doing a great job. But
and I know you've had great feedback from the community too, about the podcast.
Oh, definitely. Over the weekend, we had people coming up and have listened and have enjoyed it. It's great. It's they're very passionate about their sport, and they want to talk about it, and they want people to know about it. So you guys are doing a great job. So keep it up.
Well, that was at the States, which is at Chandler. Are we any closer to knowing where it's all going to be in 32?
Yeah, well, it's a question I got over the weekend and have since the 25th of March when, as you said, Ben, a non-announcement. Gymnastics wasn't in the 100-day review. It wasn't announced. So we're unsure. And to be honest, we're still unsure where it's going to be. But as you said, I think the main point that we're trying to understand is the legacy facility. So that's the key piece for the sport. We're looking at a 2050. And we need a facility to continue to grow and develop the sport. And we know we'll have 100,000 members by 2032. We know we've got clubs that have wait lists, they're at capacity, and we need facilities to continue to grow, not only at grassroots, but also right through to high performance as well.
All right, well, let's step through it. Who have you been talking to since March 25, and what are the discussions been like?
Yeah, so we've had meetings with the Minister, Tim Mander, and appreciate his time to discuss that. He understands our needs. He's got our 113-page document, the proposal that we developed after the Games was announced in 2021. So we put this together. We spent significant time, money, and also resources to develop a plan. That plan was accepted by the last government. The facility was announced in May 2024 to much enthusiasm in our community. And then we had the plans done, everything was done, out to tender for a builder. We were only one of two venues approved for the Olympics, us and Sunshine Coast Stadium. And 100-day review came and we didn't appear. So those conversations with the Minister was about where we are. They're asking for more time. They're wanting more time to work through it. Our concern is, and my concern is time is ticking, and also, concerns around funding and will there be enough money to get it built.
Before Jai gets into the logistics and also the nutting down to what is in that review, I do remember Andrew Liveris saying on the day it was all announced that sports who didn't get a mention, well, that's because they weren't affected by the 100-day review. What's your response to that? It's almost, to me, that is him saying, well, play on. Yeah, you weren't affected by this. So you will continue with your plan, but that's not how you
No, obviously that facility was announced. Andrew was there when the announcement was made in May last year, and we have been affected. That facility now is a facility where there's water leaking through the roof. The foam pits are closed. We can't use those for skill acquisition. And the facility was built in 1989 and is well past its use-by date. So when we look at high performance, we look at grassroots, we look at developing coaches, how can we develop those without a facility, especially with 58,000 members? We're one of the only sports of that size without a home. We won't have a home as we look ahead. So it's really key that we need to, and we're prepared to continue to work with government, and we will, to ensure that we can develop a facility that can help us develop the sport for the right through to 2050.
I guess the problem is the fact that they haven't announced anything, so it's just like Chinese whispers. If there's nothing to fill the void, rumour and innuendo and false truths are just out there, and that spreads like wildfire. And then we've got to do the hard work. The Gymnastics Queensland community have to do the hard work to clean all that up. So they're actually just causing more distress for the community rather than giving us a clear vision.
Yeah, exactly right. Over the weekend, I think every person I spoke to in the community, it was clubs, coaches, athletes. It was all the same question: what's happening? Where's it at? And it's hard to give an answer because we don't have them. Government's aware of that, and obviously they're working on a plan. But we continue to want to work with them and obviously understand what that does look like for us. Whilst there's been a lot of discussions where it'll be hosted for the Games, it'll be hosted somewhere. We know gymnastics is in the Games. As you mentioned, Joe, it's one of the most watched and one of the most followed. But for us in this state and in Australia and also across the Oceania region, which is an area that the Federation wants to develop in gymnastics, is we need a facility to assist us to develop that. And I think the proposal we put forward got accepted. And there's a very strong business case behind that facility. Can generate significant revenue, which will be a cost-positive facility for the government.
And I think that's one of the key aspects of that is the fact that it just won't be a white elephant sitting out there not being used to 100% of its capacity. There is a very strong business case in any gymnastics club to be able to make sure that it is well used and well funded.
Well, Chris, give us the elevator pitch then. How does it be self-sustaining and not be a white elephant?
Yeah, so the facility we've proposed is a facility that could cater for 3,000 people each week, so up to 5,000 visits per week for people to come. Also to host events, so there's significant revenue that we generate. The event that we hosted on the weekend, 600 people competing, a couple of thousand people attending, not only at a state level but also at a national level, international competitions as well, so there'll be revenue that we can be driven from that. Also into the local community as well. The sport employs people, so every coach is employed in the sport, so it can employ up to 80 people permanently working in that facility. We employ a lot of young female coaches, a lot of young females in the sport as well. So there's a great opportunity there. We also have a great partnership with TAFE Queensland and the opportunity there to train and develop young people. We have 19 students that sadly have to sit in a facility at the moment that isn't up to standard, and maybe a little bit of water might drop on them from time to time. So those sorts of things. We also see it as a great hub to train up the volunteers for the 2032 Olympics. A great opportunity there. There's also aerial skiing and diving out there. There's talent transfer opportunities in the high performance space as well. So there's significant benefits there, and also just getting more people active. We know within the Chandler region, within 10-minute drive time of that facility, there's a 38% interest level higher than the state average in that area. So we know that there's demand there for children, and there I think there are the exciting opportunities. And we know from the facility that was built for 2018 Commonwealth Games at Coomera, that's a cost-neutral facility for the Gold Coast Council. That was announced, and that's been publicised, and it's been a very successful facility, and we know our sport can do that. This isn't going to be a white elephant. This is going to be a facility that puts money back and will pay for itself and more over that lifetime.
And the training venue that's out there at the moment, it is a legacy piece of the Com Games back in the 80s.
Yes.
So we do make use of it for a long time if it's well supported.
Well, there we go. So what are we now? That's 45 years. Yeah, and you're looking now for the next 45 years, 5 decades. Let's call it that. If that plan, Chris, had been accepted, to me, and this is a very basic, simplest view of it, the next government or whoever needs to tick off on it, what are they saying that you need to change in this plan? Because if there's no changes needed, why isn't there a tick?
Yeah, and that's a question I probably don't know how to answer.
I mean, to me, that's really simple. And
Yeah,
I know there's bigger things at play here, but what are they saying to you that doesn't stack up or needs to be
if it's
tweaked?
not affected, just say it's not affected. You're still going ahead. It's simple.
Yeah,
it's a hard one to answer, and I think they're the sort of questions and answers that we're sort of seeking and also wanting to move forward with, because it was out to tender for a builder. It was excavation on the site was about to start, and it was only days away before the 100-day review came in, and we presented to government regarding that. So, it's frustrating, but we'll continue to work on it. We're determined. This isn't going away. Yeah. This isn't something we're going to go quiet on. We know, if it's Tim Mander or if it's Jared Blay, the Deputy Premier. Yep. We want to meet. We want to talk. We can assist, but we need some answers, because I think time is ticking. And the challenge is going to be also where's the money going to be spent? And, this is a facility that just makes sense.
We need to make it a gymnastics hub, an aerial sports hub for around the world. It's already well known as a gymnastic hub in Oceania, so why not take it global?
Well, that's the thing. If you drive past Chandler, you see the big aerial ski jump that's there. You know the diving. Exactly.
BMX, skateboard, surf. We can all do it out there.
All right, well, step us through that. BMX and gymnastics. Where's the tie-in?
Well, they want to come to us and learn how to do somersaults, learn how to do flips, because they're after points now. It's not just the coaching and the judging isn't just that looked good, that made me feel good. There is a criteria that they're going to have to develop, and doing somersaults is bloody hard. Doing it on a BMX bike is hard. Doing it on a surfboard in the surf, that's going to be pretty special, and they've come to us.
Chris, you'll be warm to know that Tim Mander's office has been convivial in the point of, hey, we'll come on the program. We will step through these same things. So that is a good thing. There's no brick walls at this stage, but proof is in the pudding once the minister comes on, and we'll be putting all these questions to him. One of them will be a timeline. What is the timeline? You said time's running out. When does there need to be action for this? Let's paint it in the picture of 28. I mean, I know we're talking 32 and we're talking legacy, but if we want to get the best possible outcome for gymnasts in this state for 28 for LA, have we missed that mark, or are we still on track for it?
Look, I think can be a commitment this year. If there's a commitment this year to build that facility, move ahead. As you said, Ben, that a lot of the work's been done. We don't need to start again. It's there. It was out to tender. A lot of work's been done. So we can get on with it. But we need that this year, and we need that commitment and understanding so we can move ahead.
And so the clubs are doing really well, making sure that their athletes are preparing for LA. The trampoline out there, that we're doing our best to make sure that we're preparing for LA. But yeah, we do need that support and we do need that commitment. And even if it's just to throw a couple of shekels to make sure that the roof doesn't leak out there, that'd be nice too.
Yeah, see, to me though, if you're just doing a reno job and a patch and move on, to me, and again, if you want that legacy piece, you need to have a brand new facility. You actually need 2 facilities, don't you?
Yeah, to host the games, you need a warm-up facility and also an arena where they compete in. So that's traditionally been a legacy piece, the warm-up facility.
And that is part of the plan. The legacy piece is attached to the competition venue, which is part of the FIG requirement. So that is the legacy. So it's already there. It's already packaged. We need that one venue that has the 2 spaces, not 2 different separate venues.
We can get obsessed with price tags. I'm tipping your proposal's got a price tag on it. How much would this cost?
Yeah, so it was announced by the last Labor government around the $300 million mark, but there can be always things done to reduce that. But compared to other facilities that have been spoken about, it's quite cost effective, I believe. But also, I think the legacy that it provides, but also the business model that sits behind it. This is not a white elephant. This is a facility that can generate revenue, can provide economic impact, social impact, and also not only for up to 2032, right out to 2050. So that's the huge part of it. And I think we've also got to understand the impact that gymnastics has at the games. The significant ticket sales and income that will come from the sport. There needs to be a legacy that it remains for the sport out of that, from TV rights, from the ticket sales. That needs to stay here with the sport.
And just remember, $300 million was last year. That's not next year. That price tag is going to be different, right? So the more that the government sit on their hand and do nothing, the more it's going to cost them.
And we do know that gymnastics is the foundation of movement. It has so many knock-on effects with so many sports. Actually, not even knock-on effects. It's the foundation.
Direct.
It's the direct, exactly. You mentioned BMX. We had Corey Parker last week talking about rugby league and gymnastics and how they have adapted, how he was training in it with the Broncos under Wayne Bennett.
And not
20
just
years
sport,
ago.
The community impact, not just sport. There's ninja, there's stunt people, there's circus performers. If you go to a circus show, you're watching a gymnastics training session. That's what you're doing with a bit of paint and colour and costume. But it's all about what the foundational gymnastics can do, and this is what this legacy piece is all about.
Chris, keep ploughing away. It has to come, and we know that you are doing good work in this. Chris Rushton, he is the CEO of Gymnastics Queensland. Gymnastics Queensland, or Gymnastics, the foundation of movement for life. Check gymqld.org.au. Back with more in a moment. Jai, how good was it to have the CEO on, Chris? It was so informative and absolutely on point of what needs to happen next.
Well, he's had boots on the ground since the beginning, since the announcement. So he's really well versed in what has been the process that they have followed to the T to present to the government to get this thing off the ground and moving.
And the biggest thing too, I know we are talking to a community who have their heart and soul invested in that, and we're seeing that by the feedback we're getting. Gym QLD on Instagram, that's the best place to leave not only your comments, but ask questions where we can do our best to answer them, just like Hayley has done, where she says, Jai,
hi, Hayley.
Double mini and tumbling.
Yes.
Why aren't they in the Olympics, and will they ever be? Go.
Well, they're 2 of my favourite sports. I was world champion in double mini, and I've been the only international athlete to have competed in all 4 disciplines at an international level and win medals in those. So all 4 disciplines in trampoline, synchronised trampoline, tumbling and double mini. They're all there. Yeah. Now, the reason why they probably won't hit the Olympics anytime soon is because there is a maximum number of athletes who can go to the Olympic Games. That's over 10,000. So that can't continue to grow. So each sport is allocated a maximum number of athletes.
Okay.
So within each sport, that's up to the sport to decide what sports in those or what disciplines in those sports get it. And of course, we're looking at really trying to share the load with men's and women's sports. So duos, pairs, all of those sort of things. So I don't know whether tumbling and double mini have a chance to make it. They are spectacular in their own right, but to take athlete spots away from other gym sports, it would become an internal fight. So I don't know how that would play out.
So if something was to come in, something has to come out.
Pretty much something has to go out.
Yeah.
That's why each Olympic cycle, each city or each country gets to choose different sports, but other sports miss out. That's why softball goes in and out all the time. That's why squash, that's why cricket's been out for so long and potentially is going to come back in. Sports have to be removed for other new sports to come in.
And then around it too, you're talking about numbers. I mean, the logistics of having more athletes, which they're not, they're capping it. If you bring a team in, like let's say cricket, where there's 11 players, probably a squad of 15, if you do that for multiple countries, then you've got multiple athletes to move around, more athletes to jump on buses, to house, to feed. So the logistics, I can understand why they cap it from a
That's
big
right.
point of view.
But you do see sports expanding their current sport base. So I know for swimming, in fact, they're doing 50-metre butterfly, 50-metre backstroke, 50-metre breaststroke. So there's more medals on offer. Yeah. Unfortunately, it does seem to be that there's more medals on offer for the same athletes. But there's more medals on offer that way to expand the sport and expand the viewership and the advertising and the revenue through that. So that's really where they're heading with those duos and men's and women's combinations.
All right, well, question without notice then. You mentioned swimming, and they've got the mixed events coming in as well. Mixed events in gymnastics?
They have started doing mixed events in gymnastics, but specifically with my sport, trampoline, what possibly might happen is that they may do mixed synchronized.
Okay.
So then they're not really expanding their athlete numbers because it would probably be the same athletes in the individual events that would team up the men's and women's and use the same apparatus, probably just on the next day. So there's not much logistical that they have to get over, and then the athlete, the expansion of numbers isn't there. Again, it's just offering another medal to that group of athletes.
All right, I want to get into RG, rhythmic gymnastics. RG, am I picking up the lingo?
RG, rhythmic gymnastics. Not Roy and HG, it's RG.
We are strong here in Queensland. Two senior groups, especially Premier and Aspire.
Aspire, yes.
Yeah, they're the only two senior groups to have gone to Olympics, and they're both from Queensland.
How good is that?
Yeah.
I told you, gymnastics is the place to be in Queensland. So those two groups have been to the last two Olympic Games, and they're coached by Talia and Yulia out of Robertson State School and Gina out of Moreton Bay. So they're the two high-profile clubs, but also Logan City PCYC, they have a group too there. So we're excited about where RG will go in the future.
And freehand is where it all starts. That's rhythmic gymnastics, but for a younger.
That's right. That's the
cohort.
junior development guys. Obviously, they haven't advanced to using any of their apparatus just yet.
Yep.
So the freehand guys, they actually get in there and do their dance routines to music. Everything is still the same. They're just not using apparatus.
All right. That Spire group, they were in Paris, weren't they? 11th, which is the highest placing ever by an Australian team. So
that's right. Again, Queensland shining on the world stage.
What about Lydia? She, again, from that really strong base, went to Tokyo as an individual.
That's right.
Yeah, and she's part of the Aspire group.
Yes, that's right. So she went to the games in Paris as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but started Tokyo.
Yes,
and
that's
Paris
right. As an individual, and then went through as a team member. So how good is that? The only Australian to have gone to 2 Olympic Games. I mean, we have some really great rhythmic gymnasts in Australia, but to go to 2 Olympic Games, I mean, that's one more than me. I've only been to 1. So she's doing pretty good.
Lydia Yakovleva. Is that right?
Yakovleva.
Quickly and Yakovleva.
Yakovleva.
There we go.
There you go.
And that Aspire team, like they've come out of like the school based, right? So they've been performing together for a long time. That's where they get that cohesion.
That's right. They're coming out of Robertson State School, and that's just a state school training hall. That's not what they train in Europe, where they have massive 10,000 people go to some rhythmic gymnastic competitions. The girls are superstars in their home countries and hometowns. They're paid athletes, where our guys are still training, and they have to pack up the mats. They have to pack up the mats themselves, so they have to put them out, they have to train, and they pack them out at a state school. And then they've got to go overseas and compete against the guys that are getting paid to do it. But guess what? They're super successful. They've just come back from overseas with a silver medal and a bronze medal from competitions over there, and they're just about to head back for a couple more.
There's a nice romanticism in that. There's a nice beauty in that story. It's almost that Cool Runnings Eddie the Eagle type gear. But if you want to then excel and turn that into a nice romantic story into high performance, that's why we need legacy pieces. That's why we need venues to be world class. And that was being part of the discussion that Chris is having with the state government right now.
100%. And remember, it's not just about high performance. It is about servicing the community. 95% of our gymnasts just do gymnastics for the fun of it. It's only 5% in that high performance space. But if we want to be cheering on athletes in LA, in Brisbane and beyond, and we want to be cheering them on, getting onto the dais and taking that one step further than what I did with the silver medal, going ahead and getting a gold medal, we need that support yesterday.
All right, well, that's what we're going to get into next. Your stories. Hey, story time with Ji. One Olympics, Sydney, fairly successful, just quietly. It was a silver medal on the trampoline. Gymnastics, the foundation of movement for life. Check gymqld.org.au.
From the vault with Jumping Ji.
We are going back to the future. We've fired up the DeLorean. We're hitting 88 miles an hour. We're going to Sydney 2000, which was, well, I'm going to put words in your mouth. Your greatest crowning glory. World Championship. Shining moment. Sydney 2000 silver medal. But getting the silver medal came with so many hurdles, and one of them was on competition day. Did you miss the bus? Did you sleep in?
Certainly didn't sleep in, and I don't remember why, but yes, we did miss the bus. But luckily, the village wasn't too far away from the competition.
It was
venue.
all at Homebush,
It was all over there, but there was a bit of a lake and a bridge and a couple of security checkpoints that you had to go through. So my coach and I, who was a Russian coach at the time, and I'm pretty sure he was mumbling awful things in Russian at me. I can't remember his fault or my fault. It was probably my fault. But yes, we missed the bus, so we had to walk across. So we had to walk out of the village, across the bridge, and then we got to the venue. And of course, it's a monster venue. And because we weren't on the bus, we didn't go down into the athlete arrival area. So we couldn't get in. So me and my coach actually walked.
You got accreditation. You just can't walk through the front.
No, I don't think we thought about that. And maybe that was around the other side, so we had to go around anyway. But so we started just shaking on all the doors on the venue just to try and get like we're going to rob the place or something. Because we got all the way around the other side. I know, and this is on competition day. We'd already done our warm-ups.
This is nightmare stuff. This is one of those dreams or nightmares you have where everything you try is just not working. And
nothing was working. So we were shaking all the way around. Yeah. And then as we got closer to where the crowd had started to corral to get into the venue, that was before they'd opened the doors because we were there a couple of hours early. I saw my auntie, I saw my family they were almost the first in line, and I could hear them starting to call out my name, and I'm going, I can't look at them. I'm zeroed in. I'm focused in. I've got a job to do here. This is the moment that we've been waiting for. While my coach is mumbling awful Russian under his breath at me, we're trying to open doors like we're trying to break into the place. And we had to keep walking, and we got closer and closer to the people that were waiting alone. And I could hear my auntie getting louder and louder. And it's almost like she's going, Ji, I'm here. Why can't you see me? And I'm just not focused on it.
Don't they know protocol? Don't talk to me on competition
day. I'm just not
day.
looking up. I'm just going, I can't do this. I can't do this now. And my family have a Wallace whistle. Okay. I can't do it anymore.
I was about to say, can you give us
I can't do it anymore. But any time that this Wallace whistle would go up in a big crowd, because I had a big extended family. So any time that this whistle would go up in the crowd, you would see us all pop up like meerkats going, somebody's here. And I remember being at the Eka as a little kid, and that same auntie whistled out to an uncle that they'd seen down there, and they couldn't hear him. So she did the Wallace whistle, and literally my uncle goes, turns around and goes, I know somebody's here.
And you have to respond to that.
You have to respond to it.
I
It's
get that.
family protocol. You have to respond to it. So the fact that I wasn't responding to them calling out my name, I wasn't responding to them doing the Wallace whistle. I've got that in one ear. I've got my coach in another ear, trying to shake open the venue that we're trying to get into to compete on the biggest stage, the biggest moment, what we've training years to do.
Where's your anxiety levels right now?
Well, I didn't really know because I was just thinking, zero in, concentrate, focus. Don't worry about that. You've got a
Don't worry about getting in.
job to do. Eventually, security came over and said, "Are you guys right?" And we actually, because we're dressed in our kit and everything, so we didn't look like the normal public. So and he goes, "Are you guys right?" We're just trying to get in. And he goes, "Oh God, get in here, come inside." So of course, inside we're at, and then obviously the conversation that my coach and I had about that moment was all about, forget about it. It's done now. You're here now. You've got a job to do. Obviously, it was a pretty good job, and we had a pretty good time.
Well, that was the good outcome. How hard was it to flush all that? The fact that all that you're on the verge of not being able to do it. Or I'm assuming that's what's going.
I'm sure we would have got there eventually, but it wasn't exactly the smooth ride. But my life has been anything but smooth. So to expect a bumpy entrance into the biggest moment of your life, that was just all part of the plan, I think.
Is one of the reasons why you may or may not have missed the bus the fact that the rooms were so good at the Olympic Village. And the reason I say so good, because you took mementos and souvenirs, and you would only do that if it was so good, right?
Well, the fact that it had Sydney 2000 emblazoned across everything. There was plenty of things that we snaffled.
Towels?
Well, towels, doona covers.
Doona covers. Doona covers. What are you doing with that? You putting it on the bed at home? Your bed?
I think it was on the bed for a little while.
Yeah.
But
spare bed? When did it migrate from the...
It actually got lost in the floods. So I don't have that anymore.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of my mementos that I snaffled from the Olympics because in 2022, my house was flooded in the Brisbane flood. So I lost all of that. That was probably the hardest thing to watch get graded up and just catapulted up into the dump truck out the front of my house is all of the Olympic mementos. There's a few there that didn't get affected, but most of that's gone.
Actually, have you got an update on the kit, on your leotard?
Yes, it is. I actually got sized up the other day, so it is in production, and we'll have that for a special moment.
A replica getting made, because again, that was something that was affected by the
floods
too,
I lost all of those too. Yeah.
Well, outside of the silver medal, what was? And have we got time? Yeah. What was your favourite memento to take? Oh, sorry, to collect.
I had Fatso the Wombat from Roy HG. Yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah.
It disappeared in the floods too.
So do you get that from going on Roy HG?
Yeah.
They present you. They present you with that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So obviously the medal itself, that's a nice medal.
Outside of the medal,
I didn't have to snaffle that one, but I've lost it many times. I've lost it for years. I have no idea. I've just moved house, so currently I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't tell you where it is. And then another time I moved house from Brisbane to Adelaide, where I started training again. My mum packed it up and wrapped it up special and put it in a little pocket, and she forgot that she did that. And because I'm well known for, I've lost passports, I've lost dignity, I've lost many things in my life. So my mum just automatically assumed that I had lost the medal. And for years, it was in a little secret compartment in the house we'd moved to. But mum just thought it was that pocket thing that she didn't even think about looking into it. So my mum blamed me for years for losing that medal, but it was all her fault.
Did you tell anyone that you'd lost your Olympic medal?
Well, it's easy for me to say I lost it because most people look at me and go, okay, yeah, that's Jai.
Dude,
no problem.
Really?
I've lost wallets and passports and phones.
Yeah. You can buy a new wallet. You can get a new phone. They're not giving you a new medal.
No, I know they're not giving me a new medal, although I have sent it back to the Mint a number of different times.
To keep it? So don't lose this?
No, because they need to refurbish it because I give it out whenever I go do public speaking or go to schools or family. I put it around people. I give it to them. Yeah. They want to wear it. They want to touch it. They want to feel it.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I put it on my cousin, and he went falling down the back stairs with my medal on it, and you could hear the kid go dunk, dunk, dunk. You could hear the medal go kunk, 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 all the way down there. The entire family ran after the medal. They didn't worry about my cousin. My cousin was crying in the corner, and they went, don't worry about him, make sure the medal's okay. But it was all dinted and twisted and turned, so I've sent it back to the mint, and they know that it's coming back in, and they know it's my medal because it's been back the most, I think, and they refurb it and send it back to me.
Well, see, straight away, I've got a million questions about that. It's not solid silver then, obviously.
It's as silver can be, because 100% silver would be very malleable.
Oh.
So
it would get dented and would get
twisted.
Right.
Yeah. So you've got to send it back. And the bronze ones are all bronze. They're all the old 1 and 2 cent pieces. So they're actually real money. Yeah. And the gold ones are just gold plated. So really, they're just silver too. Everybody comes second. They're just Ferrero Rocher on the top.
Every time we dive inside the vault, we just unlock new combinations for new stories, which is brilliant because we've got the next episode coming up. I will, and we have promised and we have threatened, I want to know about that experience, Roy and HG, what it was like, because there would have been an expectation around that. And also, I mean, yes, the Olympic medal is currency personified, but walking around the Olympic Village, knowing that you've been on Roy and HG, I reckon people would have been stopping. But that is a story for another time. Look, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Jai, absolutely outstanding. We will and we'll continue to try and get Tim Mander on, the Minister responsible for the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Great to have the CEO, Chris Rushton, on today to step us through where things are at. Stick It, the brand new radio show for Gymnastics Queensland. You know it is the foundation of movement for life. Check gymqld.org.au. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks, Benny. See you, everybody.